What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. In the last episode, we permanently transplanted all of our tortoises into their new dome habitat right in here, but we do still have one last species to do a permanent transplant with, as far as the habitat goes, of course. And that species is our Indian peafowl. They're doing great over here. However, there's obviously no way for the guests to view them, to see them, to interact with them. So my idea, now that I've started to, mess around with the more interactive exhibits, whether that's like more of a hands-on thing or just like this, guests can walk into their habitat. So I'd like to try to do the same thing with our peafowl. Now I'm thinking of placing them down maybe over in this area, just trying to make the park a little bit wider instead of longer. Now the way I want to go about doing this is I've kind of gotten this inspiration from playing Detroit Become Human. If you guys are familiar with the Zen Garden in that, it's kind of where Connor's headspace lives, if you will. I really like the design of that. I think it'll work really well for the Indian peafowl. I'd like to sort of have a center area with a forage box for them, and then have surrounding buildings and water and all sorts of stuff. But I also want to bring the guests into their exhibit. I want them to have a path where they can walk around and interact with the animals freely. So that's the main idea. We're gonna get started here, and I guess I'll see what I come up with. Hopefully it ends up looking pretty good. So to start here, I'm gonna grab a forage box, again, specifically for the Indian peafowl, and I think we're gonna place it down right about here. Try to do as center in the area as we possibly can. Now with that done, I'm gonna go into terrain and start to maybe try to make a small little circular pond around the forage box here. Actually, I didn't really think about this. The animals are gonna need a way to get into the center. Obviously, the guests aren't gonna go into the center. So we need some type of bridge. I don't even know if there are any. I remember seeing an East Asia themed bridge somewhere. Here we go, East Asia wooden bridge right here. Oh, dude, that is perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Okay, I want to do probably 4 bridges here. I'm gonna lower it down slightly just so that there's no gap that they have to climb up. We'll place that one down there. And now, just so I can keep the height the same, I'm actually going to advanced move and duplicate this one. All right, place that one down there. And then these should line up enough to where I can select both of them and duplicate both to the opposite side. All right, we got them rotated around. Now we just have to get them moved into position. I really hope this lines up the way I want it to. I guess we're gonna find out. Wow, that's actually perfect. Okay, we'll place it down there. And there you go. Now we have 4 different bridges that are going to literally bridge the gap between the land over here and the forage box here in the center. It doesn't look very pretty as it is right now, but that's okay. All right, I think that's a pretty good rough cut. Now, of course, we have to go through and smooth everything out, make it look a little bit more natural, and hopefully we'll still be able to place the water in here. All right, this is the moment of truth. If we can put some water in here and still have it look good. Honestly, I'm quite pleased with that. I think that's gonna work out just fine. Now, of course, the peafowl could probably just walk through the water and get to the forage box there in the center, but we're gonna pretend that they can't and that they just hate water. Maybe they do, I don't even know, and they're gonna have to use the bridges. Now with that done, I wanna try to figure out where the guests are actually going to walk into the exhibit. And for this one, I think I'm gonna use the tree bark path, just because it looks a little bit more natural. All right, and there we go. So now we have a more natural looking path. This, I think, will be the habitat gate. And then the guests can walk in. There'll be a nice tee-off section here. They can go one way or the other way. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. And so the peafowl will also be able to walk over this path. Now, I'm not super crazy about the border on the path here. We can change that later on if we really decide we don't like it much. But the border that I dislike more than that is the border around the forage box. So I'm gonna see if I can't place some rock around this and maybe make the center island look more like a rock island. All right, I think that looks a lot rockier, looks a lot more natural. What I did was basically surround the wooden part of the forage box with some like tall, skinny rocks. And then I also put some rock underneath of the bridge, so that looks a little more realistic. And then the rest is just the texture of rock that you can get from the terrain tool. A little bit of sand in the water, not too much, because I don't know if peafowl actually like sand at all, but it is really taking shape now. I'm very, very pleased with it thus far. Now, as far as the barriers go, I think now's probably a good time to at least try to tackle that. So I'm going to start with a guest gate right over here. Of course, it's probably not gonna let me place it down because it also places a path with it. In that case, I gotta get rid of that little tiny path section that we had there, and hopefully now we can place down the guest gate. It seems a little like delayed today for some reason. Like I can almost see a shadow of where it wants me to place things. It's very strange. Okay, it looks like it will place down here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now we can start with our barrier. I'm gonna use the hedge barrier on this one again, just because I think it truly looks the best for the peafowl. All right, I know it looks a little big, right? It looks rather large. However, I want to give the peafowl enough area for enrichment. I want to give them enough area for maybe a nice shelter. I don't think I'm going to do a dome on this one just because there's already too many circles going on here. But I do want to try my hand again at making a East Asia themed looking building. I remember I tried to make a rooftop using what little architectural items that we have currently. Right here, it did not end well. So I'm going to try my hand at it again, but this time it should be a little bit easier since we're not using a circular platform with a square roof. It should be square platform, square roof. So we'll see how that goes. All right, on to the architecture part of the build. I want to start with a flat base. So I'm going to go into roofs and floors here and just see what I can find for a nice concrete, maybe stone, flat bottom floor. Dude, this is perfect. Dry stone wall floor. And now that I know that this barrier isn't straight because this uses the world axis, I'm gonna have to fix that, but it'll have to wait. Let's try to get a floor placed down. Now, I'm not gonna worry about making sure it's low enough that they can get on just yet. I'm just gonna place it down to the point of where I know that I can just lower the entire building after the fact. So I think I'm gonna do probably 4. That looks plenty big. Now onto walls. I don't actually want to use a wall. I want to try to use columns in all 4 of the corners. Let's try these. Okay, both pillars seem to be in a relatively good spot. Now I'm going to select both of them, do advanced move and duplicate, and we're going to drag these over until I can get them both in a similar spot over on this side. It looks like we're close. I'm just trying to give it, roughly like an inch of overhang here. Place those 2 down there. All right, how we looking? I'd say it's looking pretty solid so far. And now I want to try to use this East Asia themed fence. Now it is on snap to whatever, snap to surface, position snap. So I'm going to turn that off just so I can make sure that I get it exactly where I want it. I'm going to hide this pillar on this side inside of the larger column there. And then we'll do the same thing over on this side. And now we're going to try to see how well I can actually get this to line up. I don't see it working just yet, but that's okay. Honestly, that looks pretty good. We can just have a double pillar, double column thing in the center right there. And now with that done, we can take all 4 of these, advance move, and duplicate them to the other side. All right, and there you have it. That's the base structure done. Now we just have to work on the roof. I'm going to put some bedding in here later. I'm going to start by using these corner roofs and get them all along the outside here. That'll be our first roof perimeter. So I think I'm going to try to use the smaller version of the one we just did on the outside perimeter, and I'm going to do that. I can live with that. I think that looks okay. But now we do have this weird air gap in between, so we need something that at least looks like it's supporting the roof. Let's use the 1 meters first, and if that's not enough, we can just double them up. All right, looking a lot better. Now we're gonna have some weird clipping on the inside. Luckily, no one's gonna see it from the inside. It'll only be visible from outside of the building. There we go. How's that look? Oh, dude, that actually looks really nice. And then we could do on the bottom side here, we could do like the red pillars. I think they have some weird structural prop pillar things. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is what we want right here. This will help us sort of hide the ugly rock on the bottom side. All right, that looks good. Now we can sort of just copy and paste this all the way around. So hot tip for you guys, little secret here. The best way that I've found to get structures that don't have the grid system to be copied as if they did is to simply go into walls, grab anything that uses the grid system, plop it down, okay? Now, what we want to do is move these. These don't have a grid, so we're going to select that and this temporary wall we placed down. If you hit duplicate, now you can rotate it around in the grid and get it positioned exactly where you want it around the outside. I didn't really realize that. I know that's a tip that I used in Planet Coaster quite a bit, but being as this game is made by the same people, it is totally applicable to this as well. And once you're done with that, just select those stupid walls that you had to place down and delete them. Done deal. Now we have a nice red underside surrounding here. Makes it look a little less corny, a little less cheesy maybe, but I'm not crazy about this gap. So I want to try to find something that we can put in that, sort of fill the void. I think something like this at a 45 might look kind of nice. Gives it a little bit more depth. There we go. Now we've covered up the ugly ends, if you will. It's looking much better. However, I don't really care for up here either. I want some more red up here. So I'm going to try to flip this vertically. There we go. Dude, that looks really good. That looks really, really good. I'm super happy with that. Okay, now you're probably thinking, what? Are you just gonna leave a giant gaping hole in the top? No, I am not. I do have to figure out how I want to close this thing off. I haven't really got this far on the previous buildings that I've worked on, so I don't quite know what to do here. I know this is very good, but it really only works if you have a smaller building, because I can't exactly put it in the center here. I could change the grid size, but then I don't know how I would connect the rest of the building to it. Ooh, that actually looks really nice. Hang on just a second. I think we might have just figured it out, boys. Rotate that around, and then we can use this final little piece here. Of course, it's got to be rotated at a 45. There we go. We'll get it roughly placed down right about here. And then we're going to have to use our advanced move to drop it down into position. Okay, it's clipping just the tiniest little bit, kind of on the edges, but from far away, you're not going to notice that anyway, so we're going to go ahead and place that down right there. And there you go. Now we have, well, my first East Asia themed looking building, and it kind of fits. It kind of works with the rest of the space. Now, of course, Peafowls probably can't get up this, so I am going to lower it down just slightly. Right about there looks nice, and I think the location it's built in is fine, but honestly, I think the Peafowl, with everyone walking through here all the time, I think they're gonna want a little bit more privacy. So I'm actually going to drag it over this way quite a bit, and then we're also going to rotate it at a 45-degree angle and place it down right there. That should be perfect, dude. I think they're gonna love that. Okay, next, we got some grass sort of clipping through here, so I'm gonna make sure this is all short grass so that doesn't happen again. Very ugly when that happens. There we go. Next, on to bedding. They're gonna need quite a bit of bedding. All right, that should be plenty of bedding for the peafowl. Now, what we have to do is actually move the peafowl over into this area. So I am going to pretend that we're done for the time being. We'll click play here, and let's start to get them transported over into their new habitat. I'm going to try to use everything that's already in this area because I know that they're happy with it, and just move it over to the new exhibit. Oh, hang on. We can't move them yet. Kind of forgot a very important key feature here. First, I'm going to change this path to being similar to the rest of the path there. And over here, we're going to have to delete that and add a keeper gate to this habitat. So I'm going to place that down here. Looking good. And now it should actually consider this a habitat. And now we're ready to get these things moved over. So let's start with Guadam right here. Habitat number, what number is that? 15. All right. I guess this is our 15th habitat already in this area. All right, now that we're getting them moved over there, I do want to place their heaters as well. All right, let's make sure these heaters are set to 39 degrees Fahrenheit. They all should be. Unless they change when you place them down. No, that one is way too high. All right, heaters have been moved. Let's make sure there aren't any more peafowl in this area. I think we're good to go ahead and delete their previous buildings. I think we're good to delete the whole thing there, I hope. I'm pretty sure we got all the peafowls out anyways. Let's hit pause again. We're gonna have to bring over all of their enrichment items that they had, which honestly, they didn't have much. They had the mirror mobile right here. Next, we have the sprinkler. And then it is just food enrichment and food and water. All right, let's let this play out and we'll see how they like their new habitat. Focusing on a male right here. This is Guadam. Reaching the end of his days, poor guy. Welfare 99%, nutrition. Okay, nutrition is low. Let's make sure that their food grade is grade 3. 94 per feet, pretty good. They have plenty of space over here. We got some mechanic research, staff facilities, good deal. Keep going on that, Solomon. This is great, and the guests are actually staying on the path, which is nice. We got some people actually going through the tortoises, which was the main idea of bringing another exhibit over into this side, so people, rather than going in and coming out the same way, they would go through the exhibit and onto the next. So right here, I think is where I'm gonna put their education boards. I think it's probably important now that we have a interactive exhibit where they can walk freely around. There's no fences or anything. I'm gonna add in a do not feed sign. We'll place that right there. There we go. Das Nuve Hefo. That is how these people say do not feed. All right, we're gonna set our speaker to the peafowl, and then we're gonna set this board to the peafowl as well. There we go. There's our education. I would say this exhibit is a hit. It does need more decoration, but we can do that later on. I'm not too worried about that. Let's go through and lower down all the heaters so they're nice and hidden. Uh-oh. Alia, one of our peafowl, is about to die of old age. So I have all of the females set on contraceptives. I'm actually going to take them off now because it seems like our peafowl population has decreased quite a bit. And I would like to see them keep flourishing here. Uh-oh. Oh no. That's our first dead animal. Alia, one of our peafowls, just unfortunately passed away, but it's going to be okay. She is up in peafowl heaven now, living it up, having a great time. They seem to like their nesting area. That's good. Ooh, yeah, all of our adults are getting real old towards the end of their life cycle now. Ooh, we have a visitor. Nikova, thanks so much for coming by the zoo, checking things out. Appreciate you being here. And thanks for giving me 20 conservation credits. Very, very generous of you. It is now snowing. That kind of sucks. I'm gonna pause because of course we do need a keeper hut and things like that. So under facilities, staff facilities, I actually want blueprints off. There we go. That makes my selection choice a lot easier. Keeper hut small. I'm gonna put my keeper hut right there. Then we're gonna do another staff room right over here. Sweet. All right. This one, rec room. Now, under zoo, we gotta go to our staff members. We have a keeper that is on no work zone. We're going to create them a new work zone here. It's going to be this keeper hut here and this staff room here, as well as the habitat. I guess that's probably pretty important, right? And I know you guys can't see this. I noticed that in the last episode where I actually typed names into things, but we are going to call this one the Peacock Keeper Zone. Very generic, but at least we know what the zone is actually used for. All right, that is Kay Chung. She is our keeper for this area. We're gonna upgrade her skills as well as Joanne. So we'll continue to let it play out here. Uh-oh. Multiple animals are not in their ideal temperature. Wait a minute. The tortoises should be fine. We put heaters in here. 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Natural habitat, anywhere from 61 to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. How cold is it in here? I suppose we can add 2 more heaters. That's not a huge deal. If you duplicate more than one, it loses its temperature setting. But if you do it one at a time, it must stay the same. So, all right, let's play it out. See if they start to warm up. Hopefully they do. Okay, well, in that case, they're still not warming up. Select this heater again, and we're actually gonna bump it up. Instead of 61, that's the lowest. We're gonna bump it up to 69. For no particular reason at all. Is that going to be better for you torties? Yes, it is. It's much better. All right, we have Philip. He's visiting as well. Thanks so much for stopping by the zoo, Philip. Very cool. We are under surveillance currently as well. Sean V is about to have offspring. Perfect. Ooh, and our smaller exhibit animals too, they're having some offspring as well. So let's go through and trade them off quickly. We don't want too many in these smaller exhibits because overcrowding is a huge issue here. Okay, so we want her, Juan, Itana, Marco, Juanita, Elena, Guadalupe, Pedro, and another Juan. We had 2 Juans. Where are the non-adopted ones? Did one of them die? All I see here are captive births. That is not good. That means we only have 1 Brazilian wandering spider, and it's a male. So I'm gonna keep Juanita, a captive birth. I guess, yeah, I mean, Javier's the one we adopted, and he's 6.8 years old. So I'm gonna keep Juanita and Javier, probably. Thinking of it now, I may have also accidentally traded the original female that we had, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. So we're gonna move all 8 of them to the trade center. Let's hop back in that tab here, and let's grab our Gila monsters as well. All the captive births. So we have Tyler, Yeo Man, Swindle, and another Tyler. Wow, they really can't come up with any original names. Gonna send them to the trade center. $6,602.38. Quick trade, all them bad boy billies for a little bit of buck. Nicely done. All right, let's check in here. Yeah, we only have Javier and Juanita. Javier is getting quite old, so unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to get another one of them as well. Ziari, our female Gila monster, she is also old as well, so we're probably gonna have to get another one of her. Dang, dude. I didn't realize how old our animals were getting. All right, we are under watch right now. It looks like the zoo inspector is going to habitat number 15 next. Luckily, this is like probably one of our better habitats thus far. I'm not crazy about the snow, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of wish it wasn't snowing. But the peafowls are loving it. We even have 3 newborns. We have 3 newborns over here. Please tell me we have a male. 4. Hang on. No, never mind. 3. All right, we have a female. We have a male, good. We need more males, and we have another female. All right. Oh, that's not that's not a baby. Hang on. You here. Male, male, female. Okay, 2 males, 1 female. I would say things at the zoo are going swimmingly. I do want to wait for the inspector to finish up here. I'm really curious on what our rating's going to be now for the peafowl. Oh, also, we should have gotten an achievement. Increase Indian peafowl education rating to 4%. We have education boards, I just don't think enough people have used them yet. Yeah, everyone that walks in there is super cold. Sorry, boys and girls and dudes and bros and bras. It is snowing, though. You probably should have brought a coat or a jacket to the zoo. You bunch of idiots. Over here, I do want to try to get rid of that path. There we go. That makes it look a lot nicer. Annika Indian peafowl is about to breed. Perfect. Perfect, dude. That's what I like to see. Oh, look at this. Inspector leaving zoo. Yes, dude. 5 stars, everything. That's what I like to see right there. Oh, it's about to inbreed. Yikes. Well, not a whole lot we can do about that. You know, they're all kind of dying. I'm sure they're just trying to make as many offspring as possible. I'm surprised that their terrain is as good as it is, because I did not check this once. We're looking super good here. All right, can the inspector just leave already? I just want to know what our score is. Here we go. Education. Increase Indian peafowl education rating to 4%. Claim reward. It's 500 big ones in our pocket. Now, while we're waiting for the inspector, I am going to get, it was another female, correct? We had another VIP guest show up. Game use 1152. Thanks so much for stopping by the zoo. That rhymed. Yes, we need another female Gila monster. All right, inspector has left. Ready for the report. Education 4 stars. Cleanliness 5. So we have a 4-star rating from the inspector. That is pretty dang good. I'm happy with that. All right, Gila monster. There are only males currently for sale, so that's not good. Let's check out the Brazilian wandering spider again, and we'll see. Oh, I forgot I still had this camera mode on. There we go. That's much better. It was the male, Javier. We have to get a new male. And there's only a female for sale, Mercedes. Okay, well, I think we may have ruined our chances of keeping those exhibits going, in which case, not a huge deal. We can just get some new ones later, but it does kind of suck still. And everyone is thoroughly enjoying our our new Peacock exhibit. So I do think I'm going to wind this episode down here. Once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.